talk about the arrest in the Woolley case today. At this time, I'll bring up Sheriff Elliott.
Good afternoon. I'm Sheriff Chris Elliott with the Wagoner County Sheriff's Office. With me today is Assistant District Attorney Michelle Keeley, who is assisting in the prosecution of this case. We're going to read a brief statement. We will take some questions, but we probably won't be able to answer every question that the media has for you, but we will make an attempt to accommodate you. I would like to, first of all, before we start out, offer a great appreciation to the media for taking interest in this case and taking time out of your day to come over and learn about this case that we're trying to prosecute here. This case goes back to March 30, 2018. Wagoner County Sheriff's Office responded to the 7400 block of DeLuca Street in Broken Arrow in Wagoner County to investigate a fatality involving a 14-month-old baby. When deputies arrived on scene, they found 14-month-old Elijah Woolley deceased in the home. Preliminary investigation of the death revealed that there were some suspicious marks on Elijah that were not consistent, or what investigators said, not consistent with a natural death. As the investigation continued that day, investigators, after interviewing the adults in the home, were not able to come up with a reason or a plausible explanation why what was portrayed to them as a healthy 14-month-old baby died unexpectedly. We referred this case immediately to the Oklahoma Medical Examiner's Office, and they accepted jurisdiction in this fatality and responded to the scene and took custody of the 14-month-old baby. Also present in the scene was a 5-year-old sibling to Elijah Woolley. As a precaution, Wagoner County investigators, along with the Department of Human Services, took the 5-year-old into protective custody. The following morning, Wagoner County investigators accompanied the medical examiner in the autopsy of Elijah Woolley. The pathologist performing the autopsy on Elijah Woolley discovered injuries that were consistent with child sexual abuse. During the interviews with the adults and the 17-year-old female of the household, the 5-year-old was taken in for a forensic interview and a SANE exam. And during that process, the 5-year-old disclosed that his grandfather, William Woolley, was sexually abusing him and Elijah. The 5-year-old also disclosed that the grandmother, Lisa Woolley, was sexually abusing him and was aware that this abuse was going on as well. William and Lisa Woolley, the suspects in this case, had a legal custody of Elijah and the 5-year-old brother at the time. The 5-year-old was taken into DH custody and is currently still in DHS custody. Now, as this case progressed, we did file sexual assault charges on the Woolleys involving the 5-year-old. This occurred back on April 12th of this year. But we still have the incident of, we have a 14-month-old baby that we found deceased in the home, and nobody can give us a plausible explanation as to what happened until an autopsy was completed on the child. On May 31st, the Oklahoma Medical Examiners finally released their final report on the findings of Elijah's autopsy. The medical examiner's report listed the manner of death as homicide and the cause of death as asphyxiation due to suffocation. The medical examiner's report also made notes of injuries to Elijah's body that is consistent with sexual abuse. The injuries corroborated statements disclosed by Elijah's 5-year-old brother. After an extensive and careful ongoing investigation, Wagoner County Sheriff's Office arrested William and Lisa Woolley on today's date for first-degree murder involving the death of a child. In addition, William Woolley was charged with engaging in child sexual abuse, and Lisa Woolley was also additionally charged with enabling child abuse. William Woolley is currently being held in the Wagoner County Jail Detention Center without bond. Lisa Woolley is being held on a $500,000 bond in the Wagoner County Jail. As I mentioned earlier, I have Assistant District Attorney Michelle Keeley present here with me. I'm going to give the microphone over to her, and she is going to explain to you what the charges are precisely that we have filed on the Woolleys. Michelle?
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Good afternoon. This morning, District Attorney Jack Thorpe for Wagoner County authorized the filing of an information against both William Woolley III and Lisa Woolley on counts of murder in the first degree, child abuse murder, count 1, which was willfully committing the murder of Elijah Woolley while Elijah Woolley was a 14-month-old in their custody. Elijah Woolley had died due to suffocation. Or in the alternative, count 2, permitting the murder of Elijah Woolley while Elijah Woolley was in their custody. And Elijah Woolley again died due to suffocation. And count 2, sexual abuse of the child, 14-month-old Elijah Woolley. Those are the 2 counts that have been filed. Even though an arrest has been taken and the Woolleys are presently in custody, they are still presumed innocent of all charges.
This has been an exhausting investigation by the Wagoner County Sheriff's Office. We have an exceptional bunch of investigators here that are very talented in what they do. My specific instructions to them is our goal and our focus is to have justice and have somebody speak for these children. And that's what we're attempting to do here, is to get justice for Elijah Woolley and his 5-year-old brother. And I want to compliment my investigators on the job that they did. It has taken some time to put this case together, but I asked them to take their time and make sure that we had as good a case as we possibly can before we presented charges to the District Attorney's Office. So at this time, currently, the Woolleys are in custody. They are in the Wagoner County Jail. Mr. Woolley has a bond of $1 million or $500,000, or no bond. I'm sorry, no bond on him. Lisa Woolley has a $500,000 bond. But remember, they're currently out on bond from the previous charges on the 5-year-old brother. So I'm sure those bonds, we'll be looking at what we're going to do with those bonds as well. So at this time, we'll entertain what questions we possibly can from the media.
Can you tell us anything about the parents of the actual kids? These are the grandparents?
These are the grandparents.
Are the actual parents in the picture at all, or what's the story with them?
The natural mother is in the picture, but the grandparents received full custody of the parents, or of the 2 children, and I'm not going to go into that because I don't know what part of that information is protected right now.
Obviously, this investigation has taken several months. Like you said, there's a lot of people, a lot of moving parts that have been working on this, but you guys take these cases extremely seriously in Wagoner County.
Well, you know, anytime that you're dealing with a 14-month-old baby that dies for no apparent reason, is what we're being told. Nobody can tell us why, except the medical examiner says homicide and the baby was suffocated. But the people that were charged being care with this baby, they can't give us a plausible explanation. So yeah, we're taking this serious. Elijah did not deserve to die like that. And so our job as law enforcement, as prosecutors, is to make sure somebody is held very accountable for that.
How did the Woolleys try to explain Elijah's death, and did they make any statements in their own defense that you can share with us?
They have made statements, but I can't go into that right now.
As far as how they said he died?
They have given us a brief statement, but they retained counsel very quickly, and we have not had much communication with them. Any other questions? All right, once again, thank you very much, members of the media, for responding to this. And if we have any additional things that happen on this case, we'll be certainly issue another press release update in the media. Thank you very much.